Hey guys, so today I'm going to talk about something that has come up in conversations. People have been asking me and my fiance already when we're going to have kids, or kind of implying that we are going to. When we tell people that we don't want to have kids at all, sometimes they're kind of shocked, or, they think we'll change our minds, because we're young. But in this video I want to tell you why we're not going to change our minds, why I'm 99.99% sure that we're not going to change our minds. Obviously something could happen and we could some accident could happen and our whole personalities might change. And then we might be like, oh, we want to have kids, but pretty sure that's not going to happen. So originally in my life, when I was younger, I had always envisioned that I have a family and I'd have a lot of kids, 4 kids. And that was actually partially because I thought that I would be a stay-at-home mom, because I thought that I wouldn't be good at doing anything else. I had really bad self-esteem, so I was like, well, that's something to do. And oh my gosh, I'm so glad that I had changed my mind. But I know, a lot of people say child-free people that don't want to have kids ever. A lot of times they think that all child-free people hate kids. A lot of them do. But I personally don't hate kids. They're just human beings like everyone else. I just, I don't really like ones that are loud and annoying, obnoxious, screaming babies, those types of things. But some kids are fine, just like adults, And honestly, more of the time I don't like parents because they parent their children so badly that it's not really the kid's fault, it's the parents' fault. So a lot of times I don't like adults more because they make stupid decisions and then they influence their kids in that way, which, that's society for you. So, yeah, I don't hate kids, they're just kind of human beings, but, I don't like all the having to, I've never changed the diaper before and I never want to. I'm not really good with, I have to take care of myself before I take care of other people, and I would much rather devote my time to taking care of animals than children, because I like taking care of animals more, and I guess I'm an animal person, so I'd much rather deal with that, and they're not as stressful to deal with. They don't have to go to college when they're older, they don't need the same kind of discipline, those types of things. So I guess in a way you could call me selfish, but people do selfish things all the time. It's selfish to go out to eat when there are people starving and not, giving that money to charity instead. It's selfish to just live here in America when you could, experience poverty. All these different things where, people do selfish things all the time, okay? Some selfish decisions are better than others. And you could also say that it's selfish for people to have kids when they can't afford them. And, the people that have kids in order to get money from it. I'm not saying that most people do that. I'm not like, ooh, welfare is bad. But, some people do that. They have kids in order to get extra money, and then they don't take care of their kids. That's the worst, that's a terrible thing. I would never wish that upon anyone, and I feel terrible for those children that have to deal with parents like that. That's terrible. So, I would call that selfish. I would call, choosing to have a kid when you can barely afford to take care of them and you aren't ready to have a kid is selfish because you want it, or having a kid just because you want to know what it'll look like. All those things are selfish, and I think those are worse decisions than just not having children, okay? It's just a lifestyle choice like anything else, and people call pretty much anything selfish these days. So, and I also think that with the amount of resources that people, just people in the world, are taking up all the time, it's good to not have a bunch of kids, because kids are the number one, like, having more people in the world is the number one environmental detriment, almost. Like, it's you know, more people taking up more resources. They take up resources from everything. That's what people do. And so, people are destroying the planet, and, you know, if you have a kid, chances are they're gonna have a kid, and so on and so forth, and, you know, it just, the cycle continues, and the population grows, and resources are just, it's like, people act like they're unlimited, and they're not, and, you know, bad things can come of it, and I don't think it's a good idea to just keep on popping out like 4 or 5 whatever kids. Obviously in some countries it's, they don't have access to birth control, and they don't have good education in that department, so, you know, that's why I think education is important too. But beside that, yeah, back to the original point. I don't want kids. My fiance doesn't either. He was actually more in the camp of like 1 or none, and I was like, oh, I want 4 kids, and then I just kind of looked into it. I was like, you know, that's stupid. Why am I being stupid? Other things that we could do that will still be good uses of our time. And it's just the lifestyle that we want. And so, yeah, people saying you might change your mind, that's kind of, you know, oh, well, it's not, like, that's not, if we change our mind, that's not that person's issue to deal with, that's ours. So we can make the choices that we want to make, and, you know, have the life that we want to live. Like, you know, we now have the freedom to make these types of choices, which, you know, years ago, we didn't have the choice, especially women didn't have the choice. Like, if they wanted to be in a relationship and they wanted to, you know, get married or whatever, they had to have kids because there's no access to birth control. And so if they wanted to be in a sexual relationship, that's what happened. You know, it was just like the biological order of things. But now it's different, and we don't have to live that same way anymore, and we can have more choices in our life, which is more freeing. So yeah, you know, I don't hate on people that have kids. It completely depends on the person, and depends, you know, depends on how good of a parent you are, and if you're popping out like a ton of kids or not. But, you know, I think it's a good decision, not to environmentally and stuff. But yeah, so that was my kind of ramble about kids and stuff, and about how I'm not having kids, even though, you know, I'm getting married and that's the norm, but nope. So yeah, let me know your thoughts in the comments, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!